save that for later. I've been playing a bunch of really fun songs lately, and I'll probably lapse into a few of them today as we go on. It is July 18th, Friday, in the middle of, boy, it's been really weird weather around here. It feels like, as Larry came in the other day, it feels like earthquake weather. It's kind of been overcast and warm, and anyway. So, let's see if that's a precursor to anything going on here in California. A lot of cool things happening this week, and what I'm going to talk about, what I'm hoping to get to today, I want to talk a little bit about Gene's question about strings and setups, and what else? Some little bit of news at camp. I know since Dennis, I believe, asked about what's going on. I'll give you a little bit of a rundown of what's happening there, and then I've been playing some really fun songs lately. Well, as you can see, we have, of course, had this. And I got to tell you a little bit about the lessons on these songs. One of the things, this is my own, I guess, I think I always feel like in order to do a lesson on a high-level classical piece like Adelita or Lágrima that may be coming up, first I have to really have it concert level, like where I'd feel like that's how. Anyway, I can't just do a little loose run through of it and hope that. You know, like for example, here's one I could not do a lesson on yet without months and months of practice. So why am I doing this? Because my tremolo really sucks. See? Ah! Anyway, tackle these other stupid things. Okay, enough wandering. No promises there. Let's see. Let me tell you about the songs that we had first this week. We had an Ed Sheeran tune from Vanessa, Sing. That was kind of cool. Okay, wandering off once again. We had Fred working on Layla, and boy, you know what? Fred is really lucky that he can play this chord really well. He has trouble with other chords. The normal, he has more trouble with an F chord than he does with the B flat chord. So odd things. Boy, speaking of trouble, well, I'll get to that song. The other things we had. A little more of this. So, yeah, we're getting close to the end of Whodunit. We just have one more part. Anyway, that'll be probably coming up next week. Although, in order to play that effectively, you're going to need a cutaway. But the part on that will have all kinds of descriptions of, well, at least alternatives. So, what else did we have? Oh, and then a couple of fun ones. We, of course, did Adelita, and then the double thumb wrap. Is anybody trying that? Oh, that hurts. Now this was, of course, a song that just popped up on the recommend a lesson list, and it's one of those that I've always thought about doing, and it just kind of, I said, man, I've started that lesson 5 times. Let's see, I might as well get on it. So appreciate the request for that. That's, of course, Neil Young, Out on the Weekend. And there's still more songs on that Harvest album that we should get to. Oh yeah, I played this in the lesson. Oh, good question, trivia question. What's going on in the time signature in this? tricky. Let's see. I think that's everything I want to talk about as far as the songs go. Here, a mystery song. No, let me get to this first. Gene, your question about strings. Yeah, if you put heavier strings on a guitar, all kinds of things happen that really need to be adjusted. So you can't have, you can't just slap new strings on a guitar without usually a neck adjustment and maybe even a new saddle or something like that. I mean, so you need a full setup if you're going to go to heavier strings. Now, if a guitar is properly set up, it will, like I have medium strings on my guitar, but when people play it, they say, wow, this doesn't feel like medium strings. That's because it's set up, or it doesn't feel any harder than I would have thought. And that's because it's set up exactly for medium strings, in fact, which is 13 to 56 in the Dario string family. Anyway, and but if I were to put 12s on here, the normal light gauge set, 12 to 53, what would happen is there would not be enough tension pulling the neck forward, and the strings and the neck would be a little further back, and that would make those strings lay down flat on the fingerboard, and it would be unplayable. It would just buzz all over the place. So it does really require taking it back to the place where, and you know, everybody's comments. The last one I saw was Bears from this morning. Was spot on advice. So great job, everybody there, helping her out with her guitar problem. So speaking of luthier type things, I ran into my old buddy. I meant to mention this last week and I forgot. I got sidetracked. And I ran into my friend Keith Holland the other day, and he said, hey, we got to get back on doing some Luthier's Corner videos. I said, okay. We'll get Larry on board for that, and what I would like to do is have you start submitting some questions of things you might like to ask a luthier, and I will probably sit down with Keith and have a little discussion with him about that kind of stuff in the next week or two. So, Luthier's Corner, questions. Let's start that thread. Camp. I can just give you a little bit more details. I think I've mentioned this before, but I think our general overall plan will be Thursday and Friday mornings we'll have classes with Doug and Dave, Doug Young and Dave Nachmanoff, and they will they'll be like 2 classes each, and so everybody will be able to see both of them. There'll be some free time in the afternoons, and then both of those afternoons, Thursday and Friday, we'll have the master class set up where you know, everybody could be in a room, and anybody that volunteered. I see the list was pretty long so far, which is good. You know, bringing people up for 10 or 15 or 20 minutes each, and address whatever problems they want to have, and everybody else gets to be join the fly on the wall crowd. So that is the plan for those 2 days. Saturday morning is still kind of up in the air. We might have a third class with that, and Saturday afternoon. We're trying to give people a lot of time to play together and you know, work on some things. We'll probably have open mic nights every night, Thursday and Friday. Wednesday night, and the teachers might play a little bit. So there'll be a lot of performance, and we'll encourage people to work on some duets and maybe other group projects. So we'll have some time set aside for that as well, and that will probably end up being Saturday night, so that you have a few days to work on stuff together. It'd be really helpful if the people who are coming have, you know, something ready to play that they've been working on for a while. Now, not everybody has to do this either. Completely voluntary. Just ask Sandy. Anyway, so anyhow, that's kind of what we're thinking. Is we'll have a little bit more, maybe a lot more, free time this time. Let's see, what else? There was one more thing I was going to talk about. Oh, I appreciate you guys bringing up the practice thread again, resurrecting that, because that was there was some really good advice in there from a lot of people of different things that work for. And almost everything that everybody recommended is stuff I talk about as well. I think you need to have a repertoire, stuff you play like every week, at least once or twice, to make sure it stays in tip-top shape. And then you have different projects kind of at different levels. Something you're just starting, something that you've been working on for maybe a few weeks or even a few months. Last week, anyway. So that's what I recommend about practicing. Mix it up. And sometimes try something that you have no idea how hard it's going to be or whatever. Open up your classical book and tackle something like but somewhere along those lines. What happens with me is I sometimes here, since you may know, but I usually keep music just playing in the backyard all the time, which is just around the corner from where we are. And I'm sure my neighbors love it. But, and that way sometimes something comes on that I think, oh man, God, I should do a lesson on that song. What a great song. I forgot about that. Here's one. Here are two that popped up lately. I'm sure you'll recognize one of them. I'm sure the other one will be a little bit more mysterious. Matter of fact, I'll play the jazzier one first. Let me try that again. Anyway, name that tune. I'll give you a hint. It's from the 50s, and it was a song that when I was about 14, a guy I was playing with occasionally, who was a year or two older, said, "Here, try this." That's what he showed me. And I could never quite get the timing right. Every few years, the song would run through my head, and I could never quite figure out. I was playing it wrong. I was doing this. No, I was doing this. I thought, that just doesn't add up right. So finally I broke out, oh, I should have it in sight here. I opened up my copy of the real book. I'll talk more about that another time. I'll drag it out here. It's floating around here someplace. It's coverless, but the cover is really cool. Anyway, it's what's called a fake book. And it's really designed... I will save this for a whole nother time, because this is a whole... you know what? I'll work on a little acoustic snapshot of that tune. Oh yeah! Did we have another acoustic snapshot? We had Lagrima. Like I said, I will probably get to a lesson on this fairly soon. Okay, well anyway, back to the fake book story. A fake book is just a book that has only the chords and the melody to a song, not really an arrangement. And it's what jazz players, piano players in piano bars might have, and they would have a stack of these things. So if somebody said, "Hey, can you play Stella by Starlight?" Say, "Oh man, I can't remember it." Open up the book, and there it is, chords and melody. All you gotta do is put it together. Here's an example. Here's another song that came through my shuffle the other day. Fun, huh? Okay, I'm sure everybody recognizes that one. You know what? Here would be a good trivia question. I'm not sure who in that band sang that song. Somebody track that down for me. 1968. I think. Okay, I have, oh shoot, I gotta go. Got an appointment in a few minutes. Let's see. That's it. I got to everything I wanted to. Speaking of fake books, for example, if you wanted to play something like that, you'd see chords that did this. It would just have the chord progression. You got to just comp with it. And it might have the melody. And then you could put them together, something like this maybe. We'll save that for another day too as well. That's it. See you next week.